How do you find these stocks, whether it's a basket or a particular stock? What's the process look like for scanning for them or researching how many different companies there are that fit into a particular potential basket that you might trade?
Yeah, so usually I would say like Cody, I try to read a good amount. I try to be up on, what's happening, what are the new trends, and what's something that could potentially go viral. And I've actually done a lot of study on why things go viral, why content pieces go viral. And I basically look for themes or sectors and say, is this likely to be the viral sector, just like AI was, or like Bitcoin was, or like gold, or something like that? Is this likely to be something that will generate viral demand for it? It has a great narrative. It's easily understood by retail. It's a clean trade. It looks good for hedge funds to have it on their books. Like it could be, Tesla that had like the EV sector, the renewable energy, the ESG, like all those factors. Like why is something likely to have viral demand for it? And it's usually when a whole lot of uh, kind of undertones come together. And so you might have 10 influences that all lay on top of each other. And that causes something to really have an outlier move or, be the outlier sector for the year. And so I try to identify what are the sectors that are likely to do that. There's no real way to get a great, basket of stocks without actually, Googling things and, diving into what is the sector, what are the top five names, what are the peers, like what's a new company, what's a company that's been in this for a while, and just kind of getting familiar with the top 10 names or something, and then just try to find the two or three names that are going to be the best vehicles to play this if it works out. And so, over time, you build up those lists, whether it's for cannabis stocks or gold or crypto or anything like that. And then basically, you know, you'll come across a market cycle where one of those is going and you're much more prepared. And if you're a day ahead of everyone else, for someone who's like swing trading or doing something for multi months, I mean, you might be able to get in a day before the real volume comes in that could boost prices by 20, 30%. And that could be your cushion to ride it for the next 3 months. And you have that edge because you're prepared for it.
One of the questions I had related to that was, when do you start to research for a potential basket of stocks? Is this something that you're doing as soon as you see a headline and you start realizing there could be potential for this, new sector or theme to go viral, or do you wait until things start moving and then you start to build this potential basket? How far in advance are you doing the work?
I would say it really depends. For like the AI sector, as an example, you know, you usually have some kind of event like ChatGPT was launched, and you could see the statistics of how many people are using it, and so you can kind of think about, okay, is this likely to be a viral theme? And if something has that potential, I'll start researching it right away. What are all the names and the small caps? And I've branched out now to including some of the large caps because I do options now, but it used to just be the small cap basket. And so if I feel like something really resonates with me or it could resonate with other people, I'll dive in right away. And now, what usually happens with these sectors or these viral themes is that they'll eventually get two or three secondary or sub themes. And so, for instance, with the cannabis stocks that ran in 2017 or something, first it was the cannabis names, it was the growers, it was companies that were producing. And then after several months, and those were kind of played out, then it went to the CBD drink names. And so it's basically a subcategory. It's related to cannabis, but it's its own thing. And usually a lot of the speculative money starts to roll off from the first theme and goes into the second theme. And so those develop as the cycle goes on. And if I can see that this is going to be a sub theme of a main theme, then I'll dive in and I'll do the exact same thing. I'll research the top 10 companies and try to get, which is the most fundamentally sound one? Which one could I play with options? Which is most likely to, have a parabolic? What has the tightest share structure? What has the best promotion? Who has the best management team? What do people know about? What do they associate with this sector? And so it's basically that process of just being able to identify, what could be a viral theme, and then looking for the secondary themes. And then whenever something really just strikes me or resonates, that's when I'll start to do a deep dive on it.
And when you're putting together a basket of potential stocks, are you buying all of them, or are there certain red flags that you might see where you'll just, scratch that off the list because it's something you don't want to be involved with? How do you really think about and finalize this basket of stocks that you might be placing in a trade?
So what I'll do is I'm usually pretty selective about the things that I would invest in or um, swing for multiple months. And so I'll try to go in and see which company has the best fundamentals, the best management team, the best operations, and those will kind of be the names that I would go to for a potential swing or a multi-month hold, or up to a year or something like that. And then what will happen is that the crappy names, the names that are they have bad management, they're always raising money. Their stock price looks horrible. They have nothing else going for them except they have the name of the theme in their company name. What I'll do is I'll use those for day trading names, but I won't swing those. And so a lot of times the names that are really, bad and not good, they'll have very low market caps. They might have, a ton of shares, outstanding or things like that. And you can just tell with a lot of these companies, they're just trying to capitalize on it, but they can still get really great volume, and where they spike. And kind of as the sector gets flooded with money. And so for the AI sector, the cannabis sector, the Bitcoin sector, whatever it is, you'll have basically sector saturation with money. And so let's say that there's, $10 billion that's going to flow into the CBD sector or something like that. It'll start with the best names, and then it'll kind of trickle down into all the crappy names. And like the more that the sector gets saturated and that money is going lower and lower on the food chain, you'll get to the really small, the really bad companies, which you can use for very quick trades. That way you're not in line for dilution risk or something like that, but you can still capture the name.